Well, Dom, this is the first ever time that we're doing this podcast, and I basically watched maybe 3 minutes of the game last night. I'm in my hometown. I'm in Alabama. I was hanging out with some friends. They just had a baby. I hung out with them last night, went to dinner, all the things. Came home. It was 4-2 when I turned the game on, and then it was 5-2. So I turned it off basically. So I didn't watch a lot of the game last night. I can see by the numbers. I can see by the press conferences. Everything did not go swimmingly, but we're still here. We're still recording. It's Clean Sheet Advice, the Texas Hockey Podcast. I have breaking news for the team here. Patreon members saw it yesterday on the Apollo Media Patreon members, but we've got T-shirts, Dom. We've got playoff 2026 T-shirts ready to go. So go ahead and buy them so they come in time before the playoffs. Obviously, the playoffs start April 18th. It's April 1st as we're recording this right now, Wednesday morning. We've got playoff T-shirts. It's When the Stars Align 2026 playoffs. It's a sick design. Shout out to Gus for making that. I'm going to put the link in the description below, both on audio and our YouTube channel. But go get your shirts. Go get them for playoff time. Got a bunch of different colors. Sick design. We've got 3 or 4 more designs locked and loaded, ready, waiting for the moment. But we're going to have more shirts. We're going to have more fun. Texas Hockey Playoffs 2026 shirt. When the Stars Align. That's what we're going with. That's our slogan. When the Stars Align 2026 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Dallas Stars edition. Go get your Texas Hockey shirts today at apollohou.store, and then search for Texas Hockey if you don't want to click the link in the description. But we'll put it out on socials. We'll put it out in the description on this YouTube channel. Go get your shirts. I'd love to see people wearing the shirts for playoff games underneath their jerseys. Come find me in the stadium at AAC before I walk in the plaza, whatever. Would love to see your shirts. Would love to snap a pic with you and put it out on our socials. So we're really excited. First ever shirt design. Shout out to Gus for making it. It's a hell of a design. I'm pumped about it. I ordered a few shirts yesterday, all of the colors basically. Go get your shirt when the Stars Align 2026 playoffs. But welcome to Clean Sheet Advice, Texas Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Stone Strankman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How we doing, bud?
You know, the playoffs looming is giving me some life because, man, this March hasn't been the greatest, and it hasn't been terrible. Like, we kind of feel like it's worse than it has been, but boy, is it kind of been a rocky road towards the tail end of March.
Yeah, and you think back to last year, right? We're looking at April. We have 5 games at home and 2 games on the road. If you look at it last year, we lost 7 games in a row to end the season. So it's basically like we're heading into April. We play again on Thursday, and we would lose every single game heading into the playoffs. That's what it would feel like again. And I feel like we're not even close to that point. Because you remember last year, we were just getting trounced by teams. It's like we couldn't score any at all. And then like last night against Boston, it was kind of like that where you give up 6, few empty netters, right? You really only give up 4. But you just like kind of weren't competitive in that third period against Boston from what I could see. But last year, you just weren't competitive for 60 minutes. That was the difference in what this year's team and what last year's team was. So I'm not too concerned right now. If you get me through Saturday, anything could happen. I don't know. If we win Saturday, it's all bets are off. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
I hate overtime, and I would take an overtime game, like just to kind of shake off this like lack of puck presence that sometimes you have been seeing the past couple games from the Stars.
I think the biggest thing in this little stretch right here, obviously you've lost, 6 out of 7 now? I think you've lost 6 out of 7. You've gotten a couple of points here in overtime losses, and then you obviously got the win last weekend on Saturday when Mikko came back against Pittsburgh. But I think the most concerning thing for me is the face-off percentage. And I think this is due to injuries. Michael Bunting's out. He's a winger. Doesn't really matter, right? Sam Steele, Swiss Army knife, as Glenn calls him. He loves to call him a Swiss Army knife. Plays in the middle, plays the PK, plays the wing. He does all kinds of things. I think he's good on the face-offs. I don't know his numbers exactly, but I think he's decent. So you're having to put guys in the middle that you're typically not putting in the middle, right? Oscar Beck is a center by trade. He's played wing the entire time he's been up in the NHL since last year. You're missing Radek Faksa, pretty good at draws.
Yeah.
Justin Ritskovian's been unreal at draws. Artu Huru's unreal at draws, but like you're putting a lot more pressure on those guys and not being able to switch it out. So when they do get kicked out of the circle and the winger has to come in, you're putting in like, I know Mikko Rantanen, he's kind of good at draws. It's kind of funny. Just been a winger his whole life, but he's kind of good at draws. But then like Matt Duchene, maybe not the best at draws, but he's been a lot better than his average as a Star this season. But you're missing Rope Hintz, who was awesome at draws this year. So face-off percentage is kind of what I look at. right now through this little streak where it's just not, it's not 50-50 or 51-48 in the favor of the Stars like last night against Boston, 64-35. That's a big, big, big gap. It's 19-53. 19 out of 53 faceoffs that the Stars won. Out of 53, they only won 19. I think that's like a pretty big thing because the Stars have really good faceoff plays when they're in their O zone. Like we score a lot of goals off of that. So when you're not getting that and then you're not getting defensive draw wins, you're creating a lot of pressure on your goalie, a lot of pressure on your defense. I think faceoffs, that's my recipe right now. Win the faceoff battle, maybe win the game. I think that's where I'm at.
More goals were let up due to a thought that wasn't. I didn't know the numbers until you told me, but they completely make sense watching every single second of that game. That the low shot totals, there's certain things you can pick from and say why there's shot totals there. That's a huge reason why. Like people do realize that Rupe Hintz is one of my favorite in the circle, and to not have him in this time is pretty difficult. And I think they're doing what they can, but God, like we see it in overtime, we can't see it in the first, second, and third period. Just continuously kind of draws down. Now we have to retreat. Like we can't be doing that.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember looking at Wyatt Johnston's numbers maybe in February, late February or early March, somewhere in there. His faceoff percentages have gone down every single season, but his point totals have gone up. So you kind of look at that as like give and take, right? You're not winning the faceoff, but you're scoring more points, you're scoring more goals. You're more involved in the offense, and I think that's okay. It's not a bad percentage. He's just in the high 40s as opposed to the low 50s. You'd rather win more draws than you lose, but his is a little bit lower. Rope Hintz, I was frustrated with last year for not winning a lot of draws, especially in the ozone when you kind of need them. This year, he's above 50%, I believe, the last time I checked. So, like, his draws have improved. Wyatt Johnston's have gone down. It's give and take your top two lines, so they're still going to score a lot of points. I think the blessing right now with all the injuries is like Arttu Huru wins every one of his draws, it feels like, and he can win them with the butt of his stick. Like, he's crazy. And Ritzy's been pretty good at draws too. I think he's just over 50% as well. So you give and take, but then when all of these guys start to get injured, you're putting more pressure on these guys. And like I said, when they get kicked out of the circle and you got to rely on a winger that's not necessarily a center or doesn't take a lot of faceoffs, you kind of get stuck. So winning that's important. Obviously, you go down 2-0 in the first period and you're just like, it's one of those games, huh? Like another goal. 10 minutes into the game, less than 5 shots on goal, basically. Another one goes in, you're like, oh, all right, I'm kind of over this. And then you have a really good second period. And then the third period, it kind of just fell apart, I guess. I don't know. I didn't watch much other than the third period. So I have no idea. But that's what it feels like when you look at it and on the drama online with all the timeline. Everyone's a little frustrated right now.
Well, I will say that Boston schemed up a great they schemed up great situations to score goals. They definitely had a little bit more juice than Dallas did, and rightfully so if you look at the standings. But Dallas can beat people purely off positioning. And some of these goals in the first period specifically, if we have guys in the right position, they'd at least deflect it. Which Dallas, like if you watched a Dallas Stars game, which all of us have, you know that I think I've seen Colin Blackwell so many times. They'll let an outlet pass get through so they can poke check the shot from even getting to Otter.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not in the right positioning for that, you can't get there. And those couple of goals, they're rebound goals. They're a little gutsy from Boston. And, you don't want to put Otter on that, but also like your blue line, if they're in the right spot, that puck doesn't even get to Otter. And that's what I've seen. Just, the positioning right there, like it's not a skill thing. Luckily we have the skill and ability to get to the right spots and beat teams. Right now it's a battle of positioning. And if you're in the right spot to make the plays, you can. And that first period, there were too many guys not in the right spot.
Yeah. I was looking at the shot total for each of the periods, and the period that the Stars won 2-0 was the second period. Can you just like take a guess at what the shot totals were in that second period? It's not a lot, obviously. There weren't a lot of shots on goal last night. But
I know for sure it's probably single digit. So
it is
probably 8 or 9 for the Stars.
So they had 8 shots on goal. Boston had 5. They outshot their opponent and they won the period, right? In the first period, you got outshot 5-9. Boston had 9 shots. Dallas had 5. They won that period 2-0. You come back and tie it. Third period, and we've had a handful of these over the last week and a half or so through this little stretch, where the third period, the Stars literally cannot get anything going through the neutral zone into the O zone, create some pressure. They have like 1, maybe 2 shifts. We're like, okay, they're starting to figure it out. And then the rest of the 18 or so minutes of the period, they have trouble getting the shot in or getting the puck into the zone, even getting a shot on goal, even just getting a shot off has been kind of an issue. Third period last night, 3-9 in favor in Boston. Obviously, Boston has 2 empty net goals, so it's really, you can call that 3-7. But you got outshot, you got outplayed, and they beat you basically, if you don't count the empty netters, 2-1. And in that situation, it's just like you had a power play goal there late from Wyatt Johnson. It's 25th of the season, by the way. Pretty crazy, and it was a sick shot too. It was 41st goal of the season. Robo's 49th assist. Miro Heiskanen's 52nd assist of the season. But that Wyatt Johnson goal was disgusting, and it was like the only bright spot. We had a minute left in the game, 58 seconds left in the game when it went in. But sick shot, faking, going forehand, coming back, putting it backhand, top shelf. It was absolutely disgusting.
And Duchesne had an awesome goal because if you watch the replay on that, like, it's not easy to score that close in front of net and to get the puck in an angle to have a chance to get past the goaltender. That was awesome to see. In that second period, what I thought looked really good just from an observation standpoint is our half-court offense, for lack of a better term, looked normal. It looked like the Dallas Stars, circling the puck to the right spot, really fast passing and good opportunities. What didn't look great throughout this entire game really was just, we know how good our passing can be. You got to get to the spots, though, to get those open looks. So if you're Steph Curry, you got to get to the three-point line. And our Steph Currys, at times in this game specifically, we're not getting to their three-point line and getting that kind of great connection. But if we have better entries and we have better offensive rushes, that is one thing to hang your hats on, is this kind of, when the puck is in the O zone and we kind of get to control the pace of the game, we do look phenomenal. It's just teams know that, and they game plan to make it hard on us to get to those spots.
Yeah, it's tough. Looking at the season stats overall, though, Jamie Bennett, 15 goals, having missed the first 2.5 months of the season, basically. Never would have saw that coming. Like, I was coming into the season, I was like, he's going to go on the fourth line. He's going to get you 30 to 40 points this year, mostly assists. He's not going to score goals. He's been scoring goals a lot. More than I ever thought. Like 15 goals. He's on like a 25-ish plus goal season pace, having all the time that he missed. In Dutchy, obviously, he came back earlier, had a little bit more, or he had a little bit more playing time than Jamie did. And when he came back, it took him a while to start scoring goals. He's at 15 goals as well. So that's the good thing, is like we're getting Jamie, Dutchy, those guys are getting goals. And then you got obviously Mikko, Robo, Wyatt. All those guys are scoring at a crazy rate. And then Miro Heiskanen's in kind of like what, the 60-something, 63 point. So I think this season, like he's scoring at a crazy rate. Obviously, Thomas Harley's not. So you see a lot of really good things throughout the roster, but you're missing Michael Bunting. You're missing Sam Steele. You're missing Tyler Myers now. He's down. You're just missing a lot of pieces. Radek, Fox, Rope, Hintz. Like, if we can just get a handful of those guys back, like the list is long. The roster and the schedule is getting to them at this point in the season. So you're really just hoping that they can make a comeback here towards the end of the season. A handful of those guys, like Sam Steele, you need some of those depth guys, but then getting Rope back a game or two before the playoffs would be huge. And then getting Radek back sometime in the playoffs and getting him back to full health and just having him available for the fourth line in the PK to kind of relieve like the Ritzies, the Colin Blackwell, some of those guys, and get them a game off every once in a while and get Radek back kind of up to game speed there in the playoffs is going to be key. So yeah, tough loss last night, 3-6 against Boston, but the road trip's over. You're heading back home. We got a 5-game homestand upcoming now in AAC.
Yeah. And, I don't know the administrative schedule, but hey, you throw those 99s out there, there just seems to be good things happening for the Stars. So if we can, get a 99 jersey out on the ice, I think there's going to be maybe some physicality from Maverick Borg, maybe some edginess from a spinorama from Duchesne. I think something would happen if you put those 99s back out there.
That would be delightful. I need the 99s in my life for the entirety of the playoffs. Every home game, I need the 99s. I don't know why you wouldn't, because you get to choose one dark jersey and one light jersey, or one white jersey for the road. So whatever dark jersey you wear first in the playoffs, game 1 or game 3, depending if they're at home or on the road to start a series, is the dark jersey that you have to go with for the entirety of the playoffs. It just makes sense. You got Buffalo at the top of the standings. It feels like it's 99. Put the 99s on and just call it a day. Get to the final, wear the 99s. It's the easiest decision of all time. I just don't know if the Stars owner will let it happen. I think he's kind of the final say there on but he loves the victory greens, and I'm just ready for the 99s to be the full-time jersey. I just want that in my life. I just need that.
Hey man, at one point in time, it was the hottest selling jersey, not in NHL, in sports. Like, you could not find a Mikko Rantanen jersey for months in the hangar. Like, put them out there and sell some more. Yeah.
It's crazy. And they literally back order them. Like, they just start ordering them every day and they can't get them in time. So need that in my life. But we do have some kind of news to talk about. We're going to talk about the good news before we talk about some bad news with the Dallas Stars. Jim Nill signs an extension with the Stars through the 27-28 season. He's kind of got the succession plan going. You have 3 different assistant general managers that Jim Nill is huge on succession. It's like you leave the place better than where you found it, obviously, and you make sure that someone is ready to take your place when you're ready to go home. Jim Nill is a little bit older now, but he's won 3 back-to-back-to-back GM of the Year awards, much-deserved extension. He was going to be technically a UFA here at the end of the season. This summer, he was going to be available to take a job if he wanted to go somewhere else. The Stars do some tidy business, make sure that Toronto's not larking around for Jim Nill, because I'm sure they were going to try. But Jim Nill extended 27-28 season, so we got a few more years with Jim Nill before maybe he decides to hang it up, go hang out with his grandkids, do retired life at something much earned. I think he has unfinished business, and he needs to get a big piece of silver hardware in his office before he heads out. So I think that's why he got a couple years left.
Yeah, and I think it was Frank Saravelli that was reporting, like, he's talked about Toronto. Like, that was a real thing. Like, they if you've heard the news about Brad Treliving, like, they were trying to, and rightfully so. They're a better candidate than Jim Nill. But yeah, like, the security to have him locked in, and the way he's been talking about this robo extension makes you feel really good as a Stars fan. He sees that this is a place, like, it's very Dusty Baker like, in that, like, you know, I would rather be here and in this situation than anywhere else, and completely worth every penny, whatever this contract is for him. And if he can get out with a cup the way Dusty Baker is, it's just it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I'm hoping that works out that way. Jim Nill obviously came in 2013 with the bankrupt Stars. Obviously, we're going through this tough roster, and he's having to rebuild it literally from scratch. There's no, like, prospect system. There's no Texas Stars that are, like, crazy or anything, but you had this Jamie Nill and Jamie Benn thing. You go and get Tyler Seguin. You create that excitement. Go to the playoffs in 2016. He's been here from the very beginning of this new age of the Dallas Stars, right? No Mike Modano anymore. You change the jerseys, you change the logo, you do all of these different things. And Jim Nill's kind of been a part of it pretty much since the beginning of the changes of this franchise. And he's built a mega monster roster. You got Mikko Rantanen and Wyatt Johnston, like, all these trades, all of the draft picks, all the things that you've done to get to this point. He was rewarded. Obviously, he gets an extension. I would assume he got a raise. I would assume he's getting whatever he wants, basically, to just kind of run the franchise as he sees fit. As long as the owner signs off on everything, he's kind of good with whatever Jim Nill recommends. We've seen that over the few years here. But, yeah, good for Jim Nill. Extension 27-28 season. We'll see if he gets another extension after that. I'm not ruling that out. If he wants to keep staying, if he's won a cup or two and is deciding it's time, he can walk away and leave the franchise in a pretty good spot with all these contract extensions that he's given out, all the trades, all the draft picks, all that kind of stuff. I don't see the Stars weaning on this for the next 8 to 10 years. You're looking at the roster, they're kind of just, they're set for 8 years, basically. So shout out to Jim Nill. Love that guy.
Yeah, and the way this squad's set up, like, it's thanks to him. Like, the timing that he gets some of these contracts in, you're like, Jesus, I can't fathom what a goalie contract's going to be when this cap goes up, and we have Jake Ottinger for what we like. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's unreal. So that was the good news. The bad news, we talked about AAC. We're coming back to AAC for a 5-game homestand. I asked you if you were cool with me talking about this pre-show, so it's not a surprise. But I don't know if everyone saw it on social media yesterday, but obviously this was at a home game in AAC. During the Dallas Stars gold chant, there's some 4 dudes up in the 300 level with basically in the clouds watching a game all the way at the roof where I usually sit, but I get to go for free. They paid for those tickets. They were doing Nazi hand gestures, and I didn't like it, so I tweeted it out. Firing squad for all of these guys, TBH. So, like, it's just how I felt at the moment, and still stand by that. It kind of caught a little bit of fire through Stars Twitter, my tweet, everybody else's tweet. Saul's Ben, Grace, saw all these people were tweeting about it, and Tori, like, everyone's putting it out, and just like, this is unacceptable. The problem is that AAC was alerted of this. Someone sent the video to the AAC helpline or whatever it is through AAC and sent them seat numbers, video, all that kind of stuff. And AAC did nothing about it. And I think that's completely unacceptable. It's just sad to see that. We're in 2026. It's been almost 100 years now at this point since like World War II ended. Like, we're looking at this and it's just like unacceptable for anyone to act like that, but especially Stars fans. Like, that's why it hurts more, I think, is because that's my favorite team. And you just don't want to see hate in any shape or form coming from someone in your jersey. And this isn't our first rodeo watching someone in a Stars jersey do something really fucking stupid, say really something really fucking stupid, and just it's mean and it's bad, and I hated it. So I tweeted that out, and I'm disappointed in AAC for not taking care of that. I hope they make sure that there's a ban effect on all of those guys that were doing that hand gesture, and that we can kind of move past it. But shame on them for not doing anything during the game. It was during a goal song, like, and they're doing it to the chant of the Dallas Stars, and it's just like, it's unacceptable for that to be in any case, any way, shape, or form throughout this world, and especially in a hockey arena. Like, you just can't do that. And I hope that all those guys' names shows up on social media and everybody kind of knows their faces, knows their names, and that they're kind of shamed and maybe lose their jobs, maybe lose something. Like, you can't do that, and there has to be repercussion for it, and AAC's got to do a better job of that. So shame on them, shame on those guys. Wanted to say my piece on that on a podcast, as opposed to just saying we should just put them on a firing squad, because that was kind of tough too, but don't care. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I don't know if you have any words about it, and if you don't have any words about that, that's okay too. So yeah, I hope everyone's kind of in agreement on what we should do with those guys, because
that was the good thing, is that like everybody piled in and was like, we as Stars fans do not accept this. Like, we can't. And if I only knew the story based off the picture and kind of what happened, but they don't look like real. Like, they look like a fair weathered. This happens a lot at Cowboys games. This is what that was. Like, they weren't real Stars fans. They were just dudes that are wearing a jersey that decide to be idiots. And, you know, we are humans, and some of these humans are idiots. And those were 4 of them right there for you. Like, the one thing I did enjoy was that every single Stars fan, whether they've tweeted a year ago or they tweet on the daily, we're like, yeah, no, these guys are out. That was cool to see. Luckily, this hasn't happened too recently, but I'm hoping at least something would be made light of it from the organization, because I've seen NBA. I think it happened in the NBA where they didn't know about it, and then a statement is made. But nevertheless, it's tough to see when your own team does something, or someone associated with your own team does something like this. But I don't think we'll see these guys back anytime soon.
I hope not. We saw it with the Spurs a few weeks ago. I don't know if you saw this clip. There was a white lady sitting in like the club level at a Spurs game, and I don't know the exact quote, so I might be misspeaking here, but she's basically texting, and she's an older lady, so her font is 100 times font on an iPhone, which is always funny to see when you see that in person, because my dad has that font. I'm just like, dude, you gotta fix the eyes here, man. But she's typing it out, texting someone, there's too many Hispanics or Latinos here at the Spurs game, and I'm just like, likely place for those people to be is at a Spurs game in San Antonio. And then the Spurs fans reacted, a lot of the Latino community there, and made there's too many Hispanics or Latinos here on their T-shirts, which was really funny, and wore it to the next home game. So I hope we can get some of that out of the Stars fans. It's just like killing these guys online, putting their mugshots or whatever it is on some T-shirts and putting their names on it, and kind of continue to out them. Obviously, the camera angle is from the behind, so you can't really see their faces, but the AAC has their seat numbers. They should know who bought those tickets, who paid for those tickets through Ticketmaster, StubHub, whatever it is, or through the Dallas Stars themselves, and make sure that that can never happen again. Because, yeah, that was bad. So enough about that. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already on our new YouTube channel. We're almost to 500 subs. We're at like 366, I believe, the last time I looked. We're trying to get to 500 so we can give away Colin Blackwell, and it looks like it's a sweatshirt. Sweatshirt won in sweeping fashion last episode on the comment section. So sweatshirt wins. I think there was one vote for hat. Every other vote was for sweatshirt. So sweatshirt it is. We're going to go buy a sweatshirt, get it signed by Colin Blackwell, and give that away on the pod. I'm going to get a random size. So if it doesn't fit you, you frame it. Okay. I'm going to get a large. Kind of just, it can fit a lot of people, and it may not fit some of you, but I'm getting a large, and everyone can cry about it afterwards. But I'm getting it signed by Colin Blackwell when I get back in town. And we'll give that away. Once we hit 500 subs, we're trying to do that before the playoffs start. We're so close. It's going to be a lot of fun come playoff time. We're trying to hit 500 subs before then, so we can give it away. And then if we hit 750 during the playoffs or 1,000 during the playoffs, there's more giveaways to be had. That's the cool part.
Yeah.
So the giveaways never stop.
Yeah, no, and from giveaway to giveaway, we're getting faster and faster to reaching those goals. And if we can get it before the playoffs, man, that'd be so sick.
Would be awesome. You know what else would be awesome, Dom? If we could just win a fucking game in a pretty good fashion. You know, the Pittsburgh game was a little wonky there in the first couple periods, and then it gets to 4-3 there in the third period. You get the 2 empty netters, you feel fine, 6-3, go home. But then you lose another couple. So winning at home here against the Winnipeg Jets on Thursday, getting a get-right game before Saturday, because Saturday, it's a 2 o'clock game. It's against the Avalanche. Afternoon games are always weird, especially in AAC, it feels like. But that's a big one. They're going to get up for that one. They're going to see what they're kind of made of here heading into the playoffs. You got 7 games left after the Winnipeg game. You got 6 games left, and 2 of them are against division rivals. Avalanche, the Wild the next week. Some big ones. So the boys got to get ready. The Jets were literally at the bottom standings like 2 weeks ago. Now they're at 76 points. They're still alive for the playoffs. So like this is a needy game. Just like we were on the East Coast with all these teams that are vying for playoff spots, the Jets are also doing that. They're literally point out of the 2 seed of the wild card spot against the Predators at 77 points. They're at 76. They need this game, and they need it bad. The Stars don't have to have this game. They're up, 6 points still on the Wild. You don't necessarily need this one, but you need to get back on track before the Colorado game is how I see it. So it's going to be a tough one, I think, on Thursday night.
I think you're going to get a super physical game. The last time Winnipeg was in AC, I was there, and it was super physical, and these guys are on their lifeline right now. Their season is out of their hands, but what is in their hands are these games in front of them, and the Stars are in front of them. So you are going to get very fast neutral play out of Winnipeg, and that's something that Dallas hasn't handled well. So we're going to see how they accept these challenges that Winnipeg is going to give them. And if we can keep that puck in the offensive zone the way we used to be doing, the way Miro Heiskanen can do, the way Jason Robertson can do, Matt Duchene, I think you can turn around. I think you can have a very sound, high stakes 4-3 type of game.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the season series right now. Remember last year or the last 3 years before this year, we could not beat Winnipeg in the regular season at all. Like there were several sweeps or 1-3, or it's like we just never won the season series. We've already won the season series. We're up 3-0 in it. But I'm looking at the final score. So game 1 of the season, 5-4. That was a crazy game. They went up 5-1, 5-2 pretty early in that second period, and then Winnipeg came storming back with some shorthanded goals, some power play goals, breakaways. The flip up into the zone breakaway, that was our demon curse for the month of October. That was tough. But 5-4, you win that one in Winnipeg, right? Game 1. The next time you're playing again in Winnipeg in December, 4-3 win. This is another kind of tight squeeze. I think we were up 4-1, 4-2, and then they kind of came back. That was a tough one. And then the last game that we played, you were in the building for right before the Olympic break, you were on the glass right behind the goal, like 6 seats. You got to see the goal of the season with Mikko Rantanen, who might have 2 goals of the season, which is unreal. But that one where he danced through 3-4 guys, just deked around them and just kind of sent this crazy goal and deked out Connor Hellebuck. That was a sick one. But that one, I believe, went to overtime. Yeah, final and overtime. Can't remember who scored the overtime winner. It was Harles. Yeah. Always is Harles. If you don't remember, just guess Thomas Harley. You're probably right over the last couple of seasons. But we've already won 3. This is the last game against Winnipeg. You have a chance to kind of put a hamper on Winnipeg's playoffs chances. Like, they're only a point out, and every game's going to mean something for them to the rest of the season. For us, we're up 6 points on Minnesota. It looks like you're going to host at home. As long as you kind of just go like 500 the rest of the way, you can probably go under 500 the rest of the way and still get it. And Minnesota's got to go on a crazy tear. You still have a chance for 50 wins. That's what I'm looking at. You still have a chance. You're at 44 with 7 games left. You got to go 6-1 to get to 50 wins. And that was my prediction. It was 50 wins, over 100 points. You already had 100 points. I don't know if they're going to get to 50 wins, but I'd say our season predictions, we were pretty lock and step on those. We're going to be pretty close to those. So that feels good. But you can sweep Winnipeg, which would be fun, and get a get-right game before Colorado on Saturday.
We've had long stretches of success in this season, and then the short stretches of lull points. But those lull points feel really deeper than they are. To finish this season around 50 wins, like with the injuries that we've had, I mean, that's pretty remarkable if you ask me.
Yeah, and you think about last year, we did the same thing, right? You lose Miro, and you're like, shit, what's going to happen? Like, what are we going to do with this team? It's not, you can't survive without Miro. The defense was bad, and then Thomas Harley steps up, gets you all the points. The defense got worse, but the points went up on the defensive side. And then obviously you trade for Mikko Rantanen, and you kind of get a little bit of a boost from there, but he's kind of feeling things out. This year, you get the full season of everybody, but then you're missing Rope for a lot of games now. You miss Mikko for a handful of games, like a whole month basically after the Olympic break, and then you're missing like Jamie Benn for 2 months. You're missing Matt Duchene for 2+ months. Tyler Seguin goes down again, and we lose him for the entire season at the beginning of December. Like, luckily, the injuries weren't hitting the defense this year. That's how I'm looking at it, is because the forward group was so deep. You look at the defensive group, kind of deep, right? Bianco, Capo Bianco, you got Petrovic, you got some Labushkin down there. Like, you've got depth at it, but it's like, it's not the same depth as what you had in the forward group. And the forward group's done well, but got to pick it up here towards the end of the season with 7 games left is how I look at it. So, yeah, it's crazy that they still have a shot at 50 wins. They're already at 100 points before April, right? You had a month left in the season. They already clinched a playoff spot. Feel pretty good. And it looks like you're kind of locked in with Minnesota, just like we were last year. We're locked in with Colorado. It is what it is in round 1. See what happens. Minnesota's a different team this year, but still, I think top heavy is how I look at it, where the Stars have all this depth as long as they get their guys back before the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't want to hang on. I don't want to hang my hat on the fact that Jake Ottinger against Minnesota is unreal, but it's a nice thing to have in my back pocket. If you know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
these boys need to be able to beat Minnesota without Ottinger being Superman, but he can be Superman if he has to, which is going to boast well for this team.
Yeah, when do they play Minnesota? I'm looking at that right now. It's next week at some point. I'm
like
hoping
a midweek.
Okay, I think it's Thursday.
Yep, the 9th. Right? Yeah.
Okay, thank God. I'll be back. I'm going to the Masters next week for the first time on Wednesday, which is going to be unreal. So, like, literally won't be on my phone all day because you can't bring it in. I was praying that this game wasn't on Wednesday because I really want to watch it. Yeah, see, I mean, you look at it, dude. Otter against Minnesota. Obviously, Minnesota's winning the season series right now. You won the first one 5-2. That was the home opener in game 3 of the season. Sick game. Minnesota wins the next one 5-2. The next one 2-1 in overtime. So that was a tough one. But can tie the season series. Jake has played really, really well in all of these games this season, specifically against this Minnesota version. We've only seen Quinn Hughes once, and they only scored 2 goals. So, like, that's how I'm looking at it, is like, we usually play pretty well against Quinn Hughes, and we play really well against Kirill Kaprizov. It's kind of just shutting down Boldy and Faber along with those other 2 guys. And as long as you shut those 4 guys down, you could probably win a lot of games. You can win 4 games in a series. I believe that. So, and then having Jake go against Minnesota, because, like, Jake in the playoffs is already a different team, and you get Jake in the playoffs against Minnesota, it's like Goku. is what it's going to feel like. Super Saiyan. Like he's going to go crazy against these guys. So I'm looking forward to this series. It's been a handful of years now since we've had a Minnesota-Dallas playoff series, and it's only happened twice, I believe. So it's a fun rivalry to have, obviously, just because Dallas left Minnesota and came to Dallas. That's really what the rivalry is. Otherwise, this is not like a playoff rivalry that exists. This is just a long-standing rivalry because they lost their team to Dallas and then got a new team. That's all this one is. There's no playoff. There's no Colorado-Vegas playoff type of series that we've had against Minnesota. It's literally been one, and it was 6 games, and they knocked out Joe Pavelski. So that was it.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a fun series for sure.
Well, we've kind of rambled on here for the last 10 minutes, but that'll do it for Clean Sheet Advice. Obviously, hit the subscribe button. Obviously, go look at the t-shirts. If you're interested, if you want to, go buy them. Get them before playoff starts. It's a cool t-shirt. Obviously, it's getting hot outside here in Dallas. Or I'm not in Dallas. I'm in Alabama. It's kind of cold here, dude. It's like 65 degrees. I'm not a fan of this. I miss my 85.
I wish, man.
I got here on Sunday, and I was wearing I think just a t-shirt and pants. I was like, I'm frigid. It was like 67 degrees up here, and the sun was out. I was like, I'm going to freeze my ass off. I brought one sweatshirt just because I know my parents' house and my in-laws' house are pretty cold. Brought one sweatshirt. I'm just like, I might freeze to death while I'm out here. So I'm hoping it gets warmer. But the t-shirts, they're comfort colors. They fit just like a comfort color shirt. You got a handful of different colors. When the Stars Align 2026 playoffs shirt is out on apollohou.store. Just search Texas Hockey. It'll show up in the store. But the description, we'll have the link down below on YouTube, on all of our audio podcast platforms. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already on audio podcast platforms or on our YouTube. We're trying to hit 500 subs before the playoffs. Got a handful of weeks here. April 18th is the playoffs. We're trying to hit 500 before then. Got 17 days roughly to get to there. So we can give away the Colin Blackwell sweatshirt, signed sweatshirt by Colin Blackwell. First ever guest on Clean Sheet Advice. We'll be giving that away once we hit 500 subs. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll be back on Friday with another episode with Savannah. And yeah, that'll do it. Let's get a win on Thursday. Let's have a win. Get into the Colorado game on Saturday and have some fun. But that'll do it. Clean Sheet Advice, Texas Hockey Podcast.